The Hinterkaifeck murders. A remote farm, 6 victims, and a killer who may have lived among them after they were dead. The isolated farm. In 1922, the Gruber family lived on a small farmstead called Hinterkaifeck, near the town of Weidhofen in Germany. The household consisted of Andreas Gruber, 63, his wife, Casilia, their widowed daughter, Victoria, Victoria's 2 young children, and a new maid, Maria Baumgartner. The farm sat isolated, surrounded by forest and fields. In the days before the murders, strange things began happening. The footprints. Andreas told neighbors he found footprints in the snow leading from the forest to the farmhouse, but there were no footprints leading back. He searched the outbuildings. Nothing. Days later, he heard footsteps in the attic. The family searched again. Still nothing. Then they discovered a key to the house had gone missing the night of the murders. On March 31st, 1922, something lured members of the family into the barn one by one. Investigators later determined Andreas went first, then Casilia, then Victoria, then 7-year-old Casilia. All 4 were murdered in the barn with a mattock, a farming tool similar to a pickaxe. The killer then entered the house. The 2-year-old boy, Joseph, was killed in his crib. The maid, Maria, was murdered in her room. 6 victims, 1 weapon, no witnesses. The most chilling detail? The bodies were not discovered for 4 days. But during that time, smoke was seen rising from the chimney. The cattle were fed. Bread had been cut in the kitchen. Someone had stayed behind. The killer likely remained on the farm for days, living among the corpses. The discovery. Neighbors became concerned when the family didn't attend church. A mechanic and neighbors went to check on them. They found the gruesome scene. Authorities launched one of the largest investigations in Bavarian history at the time. Over 100 suspects were questioned. No one was ever convicted. The theories? The prime suspect was a neighbor named Lorenz Schlittenbauer, who had a complicated relationship with Victoria, but evidence was circumstantial. Other theories suggested a robbery gone wrong, though money was left behind, a drifter hiding in the attic, a family dispute, an unknown intruder who had been living in the house before murders. To this day, the case remains unsolved. The creepiest possibility? Some investigators believe the killer may have been living in the attic before the murders. Listening, watching, waiting. The unexplained footsteps Andreas heard. The footprints in the snow. The missing key. Were they warning signs? Why it still haunts people. There was no forced entry. No sign of struggle outside the barn. The murders were methodical, quiet, calculated, and the idea that someone calmly fed the animals and warmed themselves by the fire while 6 bodies lay inside is what makes this case deeply disturbing. Over a century later, Hinterkaifeck remains one of Germany's most infamous unsolved crimes. A farmhouse in the woods, footprints that led in but never came out. Thanks for listening to After Midnight Mysteries. Until next time, thanks.